All right, what's going on, guys? It's Yu-Gi-Oh! Joe, and welcome to another video. Today, I think, is a pretty special one. Today, we've got one of my friends, like childhood old school Yu-Gi-Oh! Collection. So he sent me his entire collection. He's warned me that perhaps some of the cards are fake, but I said, don't worry, just send me everything you've got. Even the fake cards have some nostalgia attached to them. So yeah, we're going to be taking a look at his old collection. And hopefully I'm able to explain a little bit about what you should look out for, for perhaps you guys at home and with your old childhood collections, because maybe some of you guys don't know what you have. So hopefully I'm able to explain a little bit more about that as well. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. So number one, my friend has sent it in this box here. I just ripped it open to make sure that it is the right one. But if I was to show you guys here. So I don't think the cards are sleeved up at all, and obviously as a collector and someone who's like bought loads of Yu-Gi-Oh cards myself, it's a bit alarming to see that. But obviously if the cards in here are fake, then it doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, come on, you can package it better than that, right? All right, so I'm just pulling the cards out here off camera to make sure you guys don't see my address. I haven't like scraped that off or anything. Yeah, but guys, I'm excited. Let's see. This is a childhood collection. I mean, yeah, this is where all the memories came from, guys. Jesus. All right, so I believe we've got all of them out. I don't think I'll go one by one. I'll most likely highlight the best ones, and like I say, if I see anything that you should or shouldn't look out for, I'll basically try my best to explain. So, wow, okay, right off the bat, we have a starter deck Yugi Evolution Dark Magician. So this tells me we're going to be seeing a lot of starter deck Yugi Evolution cards, perhaps within this collection, assuming if he, bought the starter deck instead of traded this card. But a lot of people actually ask if this card is worth anything, or a lot of people are tricked into thinking that this card is worth something. And that's because it has the same artwork as LOB. And if you don't know, LOB stands for Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon. And basically that's the first set that was ever released in Yu-Gi-Oh! So as you can imagine, I mean, similar to Pokemon with the base set, those cards are very valuable, being the first set ever released by Yu-Gi-Oh! But this is where the starter deck Evolution kind of tricks you, because it uses the same artwork as LOB, but it's not the same. So I'll put a picture up on screen now, which shows you what the starter deck Evolution Yugi looks like. And this is where these cards would have come from. But the key difference and what you want to look out for obviously is the code. So if I was to take this out of the sleeve, maybe you guys can see it a little bit better. The code of this card here is SYE001. So basically that stands for Starter Deck Yugi Evolution. That's what the E stands for. In the first ever starter decks that were released, it would have been SDY, but obviously being the Evolution is SYE. So boom, that's number one. Always look at the code, make sure the code matches up. Second of all, the starter deck Yugi Evolution Dark Magician is a super rare, not an ultra rare. And what that means is the name isn't shiny. If it was an ultra rare, the name would be like gold embossed. As it's only a super rare, the name is just printed black, but we do have a hollow effect. So it's similar enough, just the LOB card would have had a gold name. Okay, and actually, I have just got out of my own personal collection here. As you can see, I have a PSA 8, which is of the LOB first edition Dark Magician. So as you can see, it's like exactly the same artwork, right? But as I mentioned, the name is gold on the LOB, and on the starter deck, it's just black. So, I mean, that's what you're looking out for. I see a lot of people on eBay, they don't know what they have, and they list the starter deck Yugi Evolution Dark Magician up for a crazy price because they think it's the same as the Dark Magician LOB, when really it's not. The starter deck Yugi Evolution is much more readily available, which kind of explains the price differences between the two, although they look similar. So yeah, I think that's that card explained. Awesome one to have in your collection. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think a lot of people or a lot of kids had this in their collection. I know I did. But let's get on to the next one now. What else do we have? Okay, nice. So right here we have the Red Eyes Black Dragon starter deck Joey Unlimited. Let's take it out its sleeve. Let's get a better look. Nice. Okay, so as you can see, there is a lot of play. My friend definitely enjoyed this card, and okay. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, my friend must have definitely enjoyed this card when he was younger. I mean, I was gonna comment on the condition of it, but yeah, I mean, to be honest, if this was me, I would say this increases the value of the card personally. I don't know what you guys think, but I mean, look at that. You get an additional sticker on the back. I mean, wow. Who can complain? Again, much like the starter deck Yugi Evolution, this Red Eyes Black Dragon also comes from a starter deck. This is from starter deck Joey. Again, I'll put a picture on screen of what that packaging looks like so you know where it has come from. Now with the starter deck Joey, the Red Eyes Black Dragon is an ultra rare. That's because it's the card at the front of the, in the window of the starter deck. It's like the main promotional promo card of the starter deck. But again, not to confuse that with LOB, because LOB also has the exact same artwork as the Red Eyes Black Dragon with the starter decks. So again, it can be confusing, especially now that this card from the starter deck is an ultra rare, and the Red Eyes Black Dragon from LOB is also an ultra rare. So this time, the only thing distinguishing this card between the LOB Red Eyes card is just the code or the text here, the SDJ001. On the LOB card, it would say LOB. And obviously, if it's first edition, it will have the first edition stamp there as well. Yeah, again, one of the big trio cards. You've got the Red Eyes, the Blue Eyes, the Dark Magician. So we've hit 2 of them. Hopefully we can catch the Blue Eyes as well and make the trio. We'll see. But yeah, awesome card to have, again, in a childhood collection. I think we probably all had one of these in our collection at one point in time. So let's continue. Awesome. Yes, great card. Again, we have a starter deck Yugi Evolution. So this card comes from the same starter deck, obviously, as the Dark Magician that we've already seen. The only difference is, obviously, now that we know, this is an ultra rare, given the gold name. So this means it would have been the card or the promotional card that was in the front of the window on the starter deck. Again, I'll put the picture up again to just show. I see a lot of these cards kicking around in people's, childhood collections, and I don't see why not. Like, the artwork is great, the holo effect is great. So yeah, this is a great card to have. So yeah, so far all good. All the cards have been pretty solid, to be honest. Let's keep going. Again, I want to try and get a Blue Eyes in there. Hopefully we're able to have that as well. Okay, yeah, here we go. All right, we're kicking things off now, guys, with a fake card. Oh wow, this just looks so funny. I remember, we all had them, didn't we? They were kicking around the playground everywhere, but wow, they've gone through, quite a lot of effort to replicate this card. You know what, let me try and find the original. I think I have a PSA version. Let me try and find that now. Okay, so I have found the original card here, and obviously we have my friend's fake one here just to compare. But what's weird with this one is that they've tried to pull this off as an ultra rare, when in actuality the proper card is a super rare. So it doesn't even have the gold name when they've added it here, so that's weird. So for those of you who don't know the difference between reals and fakes, especially these childhood ones which were knocking around 2002 to 2005, this is considered today a really bad fake, but back in the day when we were kids, we would have no clue. To us, this might have just looked like, perhaps a different variation of the original, and we were none the wiser. We had no clue. So of course these were trading around everywhere, and I'm pretty sure we all had some of these in our pockets at some point. But for those of you who still have your collections and want to look back at the cards and still, don't know what to look out for, if it's real or fake. So this one here, number one, it has no code under the bottom right of the picture here. That just, isn't what Yu-Gi-Oh does. Every single card has a code. So number one, make sure it has a code. That's pretty, obvious. It has the first edition, which is interesting, but no code. Again, I don't know why. And again, it's trying to pull off an ultra rare when really the card is a super rare, which is pretty strange. One way to tell if a card is real or fake, I always like to look at the stars. So again, if I was to get the real one and compare, the stars on the fake one just look really sharp and have like a lot of contrast to them. Whereas the real Yu-Gi-Oh card stars, they're often really soft and really difficult to replicate. So that's what a lot of these fakes don't get right, is the stars. So I always look out for that. And in general, you've got very poor cut centering. It's like even off at an angle, which is very unusual for Yu-Gi-Oh, so they would never have it that bad. And then obviously the back and the feel, it just looks matte, it feels wrong. So it's a fake, but it's awesome to see these old cards, because as a kid I have so many memories with these things. Considering these cards were bundled up, probably had elastic bands around them all the time, were in someone's pocket in the playground being chucked around, played with. These cards aren't in terrible condition. I would pretty much expect them to be in the condition they're in, if not worse. So if your cards are looking something like this or similar to this, then it's not bad going. You got to remember, these cards are pushing, over 20 years old now, and to think that we were playing with them, 20 years ago, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, other than that, I think a lot of these cards are just from the starter decks. We have the starter deck Yugi Evolution and the starter deck Joey, so a lot of these cards are just from those starter decks. I mean, again, awesome to see, but in terms of value, they don't have much. Yeah, if I was to rate this collection on a scale of 1 to 10, I mean, being a childhood collection, one to play with, to duel with, to trade with, I would give it a standard 6.5 out of 10, but it's all nostalgic. So yeah, thank you guys for watching another video. I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for the next one, and yeah, peace.